Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Talk Sport here on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on to this edition of the program. Interesting actions over the weekend we saw in Nigerian Professional Football League. Enyimba finally coming out from their losing streak and now advancing into the winning streak. The same thing we saw in the EPL. Liverpool also coming up and also winning. Manchester City, we saw lots of wins, and the game we saw a dramatic 1-1 draw between Arsenal and Chelsea. We just saw so much actions happening in the world of basketball. Nigeria defeated Rwanda in Tunisia ahead of the qualifiers, FIBA Basketball World Qualifiers. Nigeria defeated Rwanda in Tunisia after suffering two consecutive defeats by two different countries. So they are back on winning ways. And also we saw Nigeria here in the Para Games where actions happened in Abeokuta as the Special Eagles edged over Cameroon 1-0. And then moving on in the NBA, we saw LA Lakers defeating New Orleans Pelicans with a dramatic fashion, but it's a norm for the Lakers to always defeat the Pelicans. And then now there's just a whole lot happening within the Lakers. And again, there is a trade that happened within the NBA that is not shocking to me. I expected that to happen, and then it has happened. So we saw Seth Curry joining his brother Stephen Curry in the Golden State Warriors, and he will be playing with the Golden State Warriors towards the end, till the end of the 2025-2026 regular season. Emirates Cup 2 has been put on hold. We'll be having that conversation. Then Giannis and his brother also making waves for Milwaukee Bucks as Giannis came off the bench and dunking everything that came his way. Now he dunks with both left and right. He's just getting better at his game on a daily basis. There's just so much action happening. Later we'll be seeing actions coming up towards the end of the year. We'll be seeing the Refined Nuggets coming up with its own end of the year tournaments. We are seeing hard competition also, which started over the weekend. A whole lot of actions going on in the world of sport from the grassroots level all through to the EPL and Champions League games that have been played. So we'll be bringing you all the big stories, all the highlights, and all of the major talking points in the world of sport on today's edition. So let's start from the home front. As always, Power Games, Special Eagles edge Cameroon 1-0. Nigerian Special Eagles have booked a place in the final of the Ampute football tournament at the inaugural West African Para Games in Abeokuta, defeating Cameroon 1-0 at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena on Sunday. The victory marked a continuation of Nigerians' dominant start to the competition following an 11-0 thrashing of Benin Republic in their opening match on Friday. In that contest, Ahmed Usman scored 4 times. Michael Joel netted a hat-trick. Anzi Daniel added 3 goals after coming on, and Ibrahim Nakode contributed a single strike as the hosts overpowered their opponents in the 50th minute feature. Against Cameroon, the Special Eagles controlled the game from the onset, creating several chances before Usman capitalized on a defensive lapse to fire Nigeria into the lead. The win ensures that Nigeria will contest either in the third place playoffs or the final, with their last group match scheduled against Liberia later today. But this Special Eagles team are looking very, very good. Then they are set to go all the way. You saw the first 2 outing, 11-0 and 1-0. That is just a magnificent way to start up the outing. So moving on, let's talk Nigerian Professional Football League, as Shooting Stars are set to bluster their backroom staff with Omololu's appointment. Shooting Stars have blustered their coaching team with the appointment of former captain Wahid Omololu. Omololu will work with Nuruddin, who is the technical advisor of the team. Omololu is a veteran of 59 Nigerian Premier Football League appearances for the club. He is expected to be bringing valuable insight and leadership to the team. His experience is seen as a significant boost to the young Shooting Star squad. Omololu's playing career with Shooting Stars spanned 3 years, during which he established himself as a key player. His transition to coaching is seen as a natural progression, and his familiarity with the club's culture is expected to benefit the team as he is set to push them further, because right now as we speak, the shooting stars are actually, struggling in the Nigerian Professional Football League as it stands. But we will see with this recent addition to the backroom staff, we will see how all of these will propel as teams get set for the second stage of the competition. We saw a lot of changes on the MPFL standings. I'll bring you that shortly. But before we get into that, Bendel Insurance, still talking about Nigerian Football League. Bendel Insurance trashed Wiki Torres to sustain the rival. Bendel Insurance extend their rival in the Nigerian Premier League Football League with a commanding 3-0 victory over Wiki Torres at the Samuel Ogbomudian Stadium in Benin City. Chinedu Mosu opened the scoring for the Kennedy Boye-led side in the 16th minute, putting the home team ahead after an early period pressure. Insurance dominated the proceedings from the start, with Kayode Oke and Mosu testing Wiki Torres' goalkeeper with dangerous headers before the breakthrough came. The second half saw Emmanuel Dunu doubled the lead just 2 minutes after the restarting, capitalizing on a swift move to leave Wiki Torres railing behind. And also, Insurance manager Boboye rotated his squad in the later stage, introducing Austin Osaye, Promise Anyanwu, and Elma Aruta to maintain intensity and protect their side's advantage. So strategies still keep coming in for all of these games, and it's even shocking for you to find out that Ikorodu City now currently is topping the league. But let me bring you this story before we come up with the MPFL standings as a switch and changes happen. Like I mentioned earlier when I was opening the show, Eyimba ended their 3-game winless run against Rangers International of Aba, former champions. Eyimba returned to winning ways in the Nigerian Premier Football League on Sunday, thanks to a 2-1 victory over Rangers International in an Oriental derby at the Aba Township Stadium. Without the win in their previous 3 matches, Eyimba began life without coach Stanley Oguma, with a resolve to turn their fortress around against the 7-time champions. Chidera Michael opened the scoring for the host 42nd minute into the game, and Stanley Dimba doubled the advantage in the 81st minute before Rangers pulled one back in the stoppage time through Kenechukwu Agu's strike. It was Eyimba's 5th win of the season, but they are still dangling in the middle of the table with 20 points after 15 matches being played. So looking at it now we'll be bringing you the standings of the MPFL currently. As it looks, we are seeing Ikorodu City is leading with 27 points after playing 15 games. Nasarawa United played 15 games with 27 points still, and also Niger Tornadoes having played 15 games and also with 23 points. Rivers United, 12 games played and then 23 points. That means there's a high chance, there's an advantage for Rivers United, despite the fact they are sitting at the number 4th position. Abia Warriors with 15 games played having 23 points. Warri Wolves, 15 games played, having 22 points. Enugu Rangers having 15 games played and 22 points. Katsina United with 15 games and 21 points. Eyimba, 15 games played with 20 points. Shooting Stars with 20 points and 14 games played. Now let's talk about Rivers United. I almost said Rivers Hoopers. Rivers Hoopers stumble in the final four. We'll have that conversation when we get into the basketball segment. But for now, let's focus more on football. Looking at Rivers United now, as it stands, they have 3 outstanding matches. Why it's like this is because of the fact that they are also representing in CAF, so they have 3 outstanding matches. So imagine them winning their 3 matches. That is automatically, that's an additional 9 points. So you do the maths. That means they will be topping Ikorodu City. So Rivers United always, when they represent in CAF, they also play very well at home. That's talking about the Nigerian Football League. And then they find a way to finish comfortably, to advance to CAF, and also contend for the Nigerian professional football team to football championship. That means Finidi George and the likes of Atule and every other person playing in Rivers United are doing a very, very good job. I think the backroom staff is doing a very, very good job with the team, and Rivers United is a team to look out for. And again, looking at it now, we can't even see the current champions of the Nigerian Professional Football League. That's talking about the 2024 champions. That's talking about Remo Stars. They are nowhere among the top 10. So this is the top 10 of the Nigerian standings now. And then this would also change, as we'll be expecting to see some other actions coming up during the midweek. And then we would definitely bring you the updates of what the table is going to be looking like. So moving away from Nigerian League, let's move on and talk about one other Nigerian who is ready to face Fenerbahce later today. That's talking about Victor Osimhen. Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen says he is ready to return to the pitch for his crucial Super League match day 14 game against rival Fenerbahce later today. The striker has missed their last two matches after sustaining a hamstring injury on an international duty with Nigeria. Galatasaray confirmed 2 weeks ago that the forward had begun treatment after undergoing a scan for the knock he picked up during Nigeria's defeat to DR Congo in the final of the 2026 World Cup 2026 World Cup African playoffs in Morocco. Although Galatasaray did not disclose a specific recovery timeline, Osimhen has been tipped to be fit enough for the derby, having missed the league clash against Gansambury and the UEFA Champions League defeat at home to USG. The man says he is ready and he's looking to advance and play against the Galatasaray against Fenerbahce. So we will see how all of that will pan out if he's on 100%. So moving away from the Turkish league, quickly let's go to EPL as Samuel Chukwueze relinquishes, Samuel Chukwueze won the Man of the Match award again in the game that was played just over the weekend. Fulham winger Samuel Chukwueze expressed a bit of surprise and excitement after winning his first English Premier League Man of the Match award after their 2-1 win at Tottenham. This happened over the weekend. Chukwueze was so instrumental to their win, setting up Kennedy Tete in the 4th minute for the opening goal, his second consecutive assist, and this is in the league season. He was named the man of the match after the game, earning his second consecutive accolade in the league after being named the club's legend of the match during their 1-0 win over Sunderland last weekend. He came off the bench last week to provide the assist for Fulham's loan goal against Sunderland and his first start under Marco Silva. Samuel Chukwueze is on loan from AC Milan, and with Fulham holding an option to buy out the Nigerian with the 25 million euros, the 26-year-old will be out to impress Silva and avoid another move in the summer. Now, Samuel Chukwueze has had series of challenges with his move, and also AC Milan. He was in Inter and then he moved to AC Milan, and now he was also in Villarreal at some point. He played in the Spanish league and all of that, but now it's seeming that he's more comfortable. I don't know if it's the Kelvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi factor that's having two Nigerians on the same team and also him himself joining on loan. I think that's what's giving him the boost and the morale to be able to to perform at the level which he is performing at currently. And again, he's finding his feet. Maybe England is a place for him to be. So let's see how all of these will pan out. I would love him to be in England because it's tougher, and then he would have more opportunity, and to play in the Champions League. Though not that he won't have opportunity to play in Serie A, but England is more, you understand what I'm saying. England is more tough. England is more physical, and I think he's fitting in properly as he stands with England and also with Fulham as he stands now. So let's see how all of this pans out. So a sad one happened still in London as West Ham legend Billy Bones died at the age of 79 as the club pays tribute to the former player and manager. Legendary former West Ham player, coach and manager Billy Bones has died at age 79, the club said Bonds passed away peacefully on Sunday morning. Bonds made a record of 799 outing for the Hammers, captaining them to two FA Cup triumphs in 1975 and 1980. After 21 years with them as a player, he went on to manage them for a couple of years after retiring from 1990 to 1994. In the period, he won them promotion to the top tier twice and took charge of 227 games. He also played for Charlton and managed Mainwell. A statement from Bonds' family released by West Ham read, "We are heartbroken to announce that we lost our beloved dad today." The letter says he was devoted to his family and was the most kind, loyal, selfless, and loving person ever. He was rather a very great instrument for West Ham, and may his soul rest in peace. We'll be going on a very quick break, and then when we return back, we'll be having conversations around the game that was played in the EPL. Manchester United coming back on winning ways. Manchester City still on winning ways, and Chelsea, Arsenal settled for a draw, and there were so lots of conversations around the officiating. We'll have that conversation immediately after this break. Stay with us. Yes, many thanks for staying with us. Manchester United edge Crystal Palace 2-1. If you're just joining us, this is TalkSport and I am Samuel Odi. Okay, after the second half fight back, Manchester United produced a spirited second half performance to defeat Crystal Palace 2-1 at the Sherwood Park on Sunday. This is away from home, which is very, very interesting. Goals from Joshua and Mason Mount sealed the win, lifting the Red Devils 1 point above Palace on the Premier League table. United tailed at halftime after John Phillips Meta converted a retaken penalty in the 37th minute. The hosts had been the brighter side earlier on, threatening repeatedly through Meta, Yamel Pano and Adams Warston, while Dan Henderson produced a superb double save to keep the game level. But still, somehow, Manchester United kept going and going and going until they got what they wanted. They got the result they wanted. But now, let's talk about Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has always been very, very stubborn when it comes to big teams, just like the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Manchester United, the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City. But somehow, Manchester United gets to pass these guys. It happened in a very dramatic fashion, even a penalty that had to be retaken. So it shows that Ruben Amorim's pattern is working, and it shows that the EPL is not going to be trophy, it's not going to be handed to any team just based on the fact that they have a very good depth squad, or they have, they've been playing and scoring lots of goals, and then they've been playing well. It shows that every team would have to fight and make sure that they get the result that they want. And that brings me to the standings. Should I talk about the standings, or I should bring up the Arsenal-Chelsea matter? I think let's talk Chelsea-Arsenal. Then we'll bring the highlights and also look at the standings. Arsenal-Chelsea draw. Chelsea, Arsenal draw Chelsea 10-man down to settle for a 1-1 draw in the London derby. This is what Mikel Merino says. Mikel Merino rescued Arsenal as the Premier League leaders battled for a 1-1 draw against Stedman Chelsea squad in a bad temper. London derby, this happened yesterday. Chelsea midfielder Moses Caicedo was sent off for a crude foul on Merino late in the first half at Stamford Bridge. Despite Caicedo's dismissal, Trevor Chalobah headed Chelsea into a second half lead, but Merino's leveler ensured Arsenal managed to unshattered for a bruising encounter between the title rivals. Arsenal are 5 points clear of the second place Manchester City, who beat Newcastle on Saturday, and sitting 6 points above third place Chelsea. And then afterwards, this is what Chelsea boss had to say, Enzo Maresca, and he fumes very much at the inconsistent refereeing and highlighting Rodrigo Banto's challenge on Reece James as an example for double standards in the Premier League challenge. Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca hails his 10 men for preventing Arsenal from pulling an even further away at the top of the Premier League, but slammed the inconsistent refereeing that has been befalling the Blues of late. Maresca has condoled Moses Caicedo's deserved his straight red card after the 38th minute for an reckless tackle on Mikel Merino, but he was confused why referee Anthony Taylor did not dismiss Pero handicaps for elbowing Trevor Chalobah, who was left with a noticeable swollen cheek. And Maresca also criticized Chelsea's trip to Tottenham earlier in November when Rodrigo Banto escaped red card for a foul on Reece James, which was not which was similar to the one committed by Caicedo. Yes, if you all watched that game between Tottenham and Chelsea, where Reece James was fouled so hard, and I think his ankle was stepped on, and then there was, I think, no card was even awarded, if my memory serves me right. Okay, no, a yellow card was shown for the same offense that Caicedo committed yesterday that he got a red card for. You understand? So this is what Enzo was complaining about. So the inconsistency in refereeing has been a very, very big concern for Chelsea. And finally, Enzo Maresca is talking about it. Then looking at the game between Chelsea and Arsenal yesterday, it was a very, very close one. Despite being 10-man down, it shows that the Chelsea squad is looking very ready, and they want to actually do so much when it comes to, contending for this championship. If you remember last season when Enzo Maresca came, he made it clear that Chelsea is not contending for the EPL. But we don't know, without knowing that Chelsea had a bigger picture in mind to advance and also go and win the Club World Cup. Chelsea advanced and won that, and Chelsea is currently the World Club champions. And then Arsenal now have been on a rampage, and they look very certain that they want to win this season's EPL. Do they have the star quality? Do they have the depth? Do they have everything that it takes to be able to win this season's championship? Yes, they do have what it takes, but will it be handed over to them? Clearly, everybody, sports lovers all over the world, saw that no team wants to fold their hand and watch Arsenal take the trophy away. Despite all of the back and forth, Chelsea was able, despite the red card. Enzo Maresca showed class yesterday. The players of Chelsea fans showed class as well. Players also showed class as well, because of the fact that despite the red card, normally coaches would just start making substitution, but Chelsea back four was looking very good. Gusto was very okay. Chalobah was there. Cucurella was there. And then Reece James, who was playing double DM with Caicedo, didn't even fidget after the red card. He took charge and made sure that back four, that DM position, wasn't lacking at all. But now let's just look at the standings. Arsenal still leading Chelsea with 6 points on the EPL table. Manchester City sitting on the second position with 25 points. As it stands now, Arsenal first with 30 points. Man City with 25 points after 13 games. Chelsea 24 points. Aston Villa on the fourth position with 24 points. Brighton sitting in the fifth position with 22 points. Sunderland making waves with 22 points. Manchester United with 21 points. Liverpool current champs, sitting in the 8th position with 21 points. Crystal Palace with 20 points, and also Brentford with 19 points. This is the top 10, and all of these teams have played 13 games each. As it stands now, Arsenal is leading the Champions League table, and also Chelsea is just following behind, and also Arsenal is basically leading the EPL table and also the Champions League table. But we will see how all of this will pan out. The second phase of the game is coming. This is December. Happy New Month to you all, I beg your pardon. And then we will see how the second half will look. So now let me bring you quick highlights of the game between Chelsea and Arsenal, and then we'll advance further, talk about Nigerian basketball and also the NBA. Stay with us.